Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Accountrepreneur Sales. Today's video is amazing. We're going to talk about the perfect discovery call for accountants, how elite firms diagnose problems, create trust, and close premium clients. How do we do it, right? Most accountants think discovery calls are about gathering information. Well, they're not, right? So to me, a discovery call is a diagnostic process. The prospect isn't buying your bookkeeping. They're not buying tax preparation. They're not buying advisory either. What they are buying is a solution to their problems, right? They want confidence and certainty that you're the one that can get the job done. They're buying belief that you understand their problem better than they do, right? So understand, the best accountants in the world, they don't talk like salespeople. They sound like doctors. And doctors don't prescribe before they diagnose, right? That'd be pretty insane. I've got some beautiful modules for you here today. Go ahead and grab a pencil and paper. Let's roll through those. We got module 1. So the biggest mistake accountants make. Well, guys, most accounting professionals get on a call and immediately start talking about their services, and that's not something we want to do. You guys start explaining bookkeeping, tax strategy, payroll, advisory, and what happens is the prospect hasn't actually earned any of that information yet. So think about what I just said. If you walked into a doctor's office and before asking a single question, they started discussing surgery, you'd probably walk out and leave. That'd probably freak you out, right? Yeah, accountants do this every single day. The prospect doesn't care about your service. They care about their problems. So understand that discovery is about making the conversation all about the other person in front of you. So I have 5 phases, okay, of a world-class discovery call that I'm actually going to roll out and give it to you for free, right? And you'd probably buy a sales course worth thousands of 20 grand, right, for a sales program. I'm going to teach you all this stuff for free. So the 5 phases of a discovery call. Situation. Well, let me give you the phases here first so you can write them down. But we've got phase 1 is situation. Then we've got phase 2 is pain. And then phase 3, consequences. Phase 4 is future vision. And then phase 5 is commitment. So, guys, most accountants actually stop at situation. The elite sales professionals spend most of their time in pain and consequences. And that's where the decision gets made. So, for phase 1, we have situation, okay? And the goal right here is to understand their business. We need to understand what's going on. So it's not to sell, but we need to understand, okay? Confirm and expand so that you can better understand. So here are some really good questions that you can ask. Hey, tell me about your business. How long have you been operating? How long have you guys been in business? Talk to me about that. What inspired you to start this business, right? What services do you provide? How many employees do you currently have? What does revenue look like this year? How are you currently handling your accounting? Guys, ask them, who's handling the books today? Most accountants stop here. Well, and you probably do yourself, so we got to go a little bit deeper, and that's the reason for these phases. And what this does is this creates terrible sales calls. You have to understand that facts do not create urgency, problems create urgency, right? So for phase 2, we have pain. Right? Pain. I need you to identify what's broken. This is where most sales professionals separate themselves from everybody else, right? So instead of asking, do you need bookkeeping? Why don't you ask, what challenges are you running into financially right now? Instead of, would tax planning help? Ask, what frustrates you most about tax season? Instead of, do you want advisory? Why don't you ask them, how confident are you in financial decisions today? Well, you notice the difference? One question sells services and the other uncovers problems. So the advanced psychology behind this, guys, is that humans buy emotionally and then they justify logically. Then your job is not to convince, your job is to uncover. Most prospects will tell you exactly why they should buy if you just ask enough questions. Selling isn't telling. I'd rather have them sell themselves, right? So we have phase 3, which is consequences. Consequences, all right? This is where deals are won. Most accountants uncover pain, and very few expand on it. So I want to uncover it, imagine a magnifying glass, and then I want to expand it. So let's say they say our bookkeeping is behind. Well, most accountants actually do just brush this off and move on. You need to investigate, okay? How far behind? What impact is that having? What happens if it stays that way? How much time is that costing you? How much stress is that actually creating? How much money do you think that's costing the business? This is called consequence exploration. Write that down. Consequence exploration. The prospect begins calculating the cost of inaction, right? And that calculation is what creates urgency. So a powerful rule for you in this phase is to understand that people rarely change because of discomfort. People change because the pain becomes greater than the effort required to solve it. Your discovery call should help them understand the cost of doing nothing. It's not that complicated, right? I'd rather have them sell themselves. That's the mindset that you need to have. So for phase 4, we have the future vision, right? Guys, you got to create the destination. If I can get them to see their future self succeeding, I'm going to have way better luck of actually getting the closed deal. So you got to create the destination. Most accountants focus on the current problem. Elite accountants focus on the future outcome. So you need to ask, hey, if we fix this completely, what would that allow you to do? What would your business look like a year from now? What revenue goal are you chasing? What would give you peace of mind financially? What would success look like for you, Janet? What does your ideal accounting relationship look like? So what happens is here, now you're no longer discussing bookkeeping, you're actually discussing freedom, growth, time, control, profitability, the things people actually want. All right, so the next part of this phase right here is the sales psychology. So I think you're starting to learn from watching my channel that humans move away from pain and humans move toward pleasure. The best discovery calls create both. So understand that pain pulls and vision pushes. Together they create momentum. So for phase 5, we have commitment. Phase 5 is the commitment phase. So before presenting anything, I need you to ask, based on everything we discussed, how important is it for you to solve this? And then ask why now, and then ask what happens if this doesn't get fixed, right? The next thing you need to ask is, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about improving the situation? What happens is these questions, right, what do? They reveal buying intent. So never present before commitment. Don't do that, right? Use common sense. Sell the right way. So right here I have for you the elite accountant frame, okay? Once you've completed discovery, you summarize. So hey, Janet, let me make sure I understand this. You're currently doing approximately $750,000 annually, right? Your books are consistently about 2 to 3 months behind. Tax season creates significant stress for you. You don't have a reliable financial reporting, and because of that, you're making important decisions without complete financial visibility. Ideally, you'd like accurate books, proactive tax planning, and better financial clarity so you can confidently grow the company. Talk to me, Janet. Did I miss anything or did I get it all right here? Boom. So this is one of the most powerful moments in sales because the prospect hears their own problems repeated back to them, and people trust people who understand them, right? Next, we have the master level question. So after summarizing, this is what you want to say to them. Out of everything we discussed today, what do you believe is the biggest issue holding your business back right now? Talk to me about that. Now the prospect sells themselves, and that's the best thing that we want. So understand, and I'm going to give you this really nicely here, the perfect discovery call formula. We just ran through it, and again, I'll reiterate it back for you here. We have situation, so understand the business. We have pain, identify frustrations. We have consequences, quantify the cost. Then we have vision, we got to build that future out, right? And then we have commitment, where we measure urgency. Then we need a summary, right? Demonstrate that you understand, and then present only after diagnosing. So, guys, just understand that the highest paid accountants in the world aren't the smartest technically. They are, however, the best at diagnosing. They know how to ask questions, they know how to listen, they know how to uncover any problems, right? They know how to help business owners see the gap between where they are and where they want to be, right? And that's what you got to do. The moment you start acting like a salesperson and start looking at it like a financial doctor, everything's going to change for you. Remember, pain, cost, vision, client, boom, have fun with it. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Make sure you check us out, Universal Accounting Center, and like and subscribe.